This video has been developed to provide guidance on the principles of completing a compliance task within BSAFE. Compliance tasks are critical to maintaining the safety of our locations, and therefore tasks should be checked regularly to ensure these do not become overdue. Some compliance tasks are used for recording information following physical checks and are required to be completed at set intervals. Other tasks are either ad hoc or are dependent on the range of assets present at your location. Once you are logged into BSAFE and have navigated to the location, select the Compliance tab. The screen will then change to show the Compliance screen. This screen shows all the compliance tasks relevant to your location. Some tasks are scheduled for different periods of time, such as weekly, monthly, or 6-monthly. This will be indicated by the Compliant Until field. Other compliance tasks will be used on an as-required basis. Each task is assigned a red, amber, or green status. If the task is green, this indicates that it is not due for completion yet. Amber indicates that the task is due to be actioned soon. The timeframes for a task turning amber will vary depending on the frequency of the task. Red means that the task is now overdue and needs to be completed as soon as possible to maintain compliance. To complete a compliance task, you will need to find the relevant task from the list. There may be more than one page of tasks, and you can see the numbered pages at the bottom of the screen. For most tasks, there is a Do Task button. You will select this to record completion of the task. Each line will also show the compliance type, number of previously raised active actions relevant to the task, when it was last completed, and when it is compliant until. Tasks without a Do Task button will be the responsibility of another colleague, such as a line manager or the health and safety team. For the purposes of this video, we are going to complete the weekly fire alarm compliance task as an example. Before you complete the task, you will have already tested the fire alarm at the location. To carry out the task, click on the Do Task button. The task window will then be displayed. Much of the functionality in this window is similar across other compliance tasks. At the top of the window, there is an option to submit attachments by email. This is shown in a separate video. The date of completion will automatically default to today's date. If you need to change this date, then you can click on the date box and select a date that is up to 3 days before today's date. For example, if you'd completed the task on a Friday but not had the opportunity to log the task until Monday. Enter the number of the call points used to activate the fire alarm in the field provided. Next, answer the questions relating to the task depending on what happened when you undertook the task. This functionality is similar across most compliance tasks in BSAFE. If the weekly fire alarm test was successful, answer all on-screen questions with a yes and click OK to save, or use Not Applicable if required. If your weekly fire alarm test was unsuccessful, you will need to click No to one or more of the questions to indicate this. This will prompt you to raise an action to rectify the situation. In the following example, a fire door did not close correctly when completing the test. Select No to the appropriate question. The system will prompt you to advise whether the action has been raised in a previous inspection. Select Yes or No. If yes, you will be asked to enter the previous action number related to the issue. You may want to have made a note of this prior to completing this task, or you can click Save for later and return to complete it later. If no, you will need to raise a new action. To raise an action, select a risk rating from those provided by clicking the relevant risk rating button. In the blue box will be a description of each risk level, including associated timeframes. In the description field, enter a clear description of what you observed when undertaking the fire alarm test and what needs to be done to rectify the adverse situation. Assign the action to a relevant person who would be responsible for resolving the issue. This could be yourself or a colleague in another team. To do this, enter their email address in the Action Assigned box. The responsible person for the action will be notified and reminded by email that the action is due. When it becomes overdue, it will be escalated to their line manager. If no is answered to any other question, you will need to follow the same process. In some cases, you may need to raise further actions relevant to the question. You can do this by selecting the Additional Actions option at the top of the window. The Comments option at the top of the window allows you to add optional comments about the compliance task you have just completed. For example, a reason why it was completed late. You will then have two options at the bottom of the screen. The first enables you to save the form part completed so you can return at a later date, or click OK, which will save the compliance task and assign any actions to the relevant people. Selecting OK will then close the task and set the next due date. You may need to click Refresh to see the update. Selecting Save for later will save what you have recorded but not mark the task as complete. Therefore, the next due date will not be set, nor will actions be escalated. To do so, you will have to return to the task, complete the record and select OK. Other compliance tasks may have slightly different functionality, such as drop-down lists or the requirement to input specific values, such as temperatures. Nevertheless, the principles of completing tasks and raising actions are the same across the BeSafe system. You have now successfully completed a compliance task.